Crypto market and its current downturn has taken some by surprise. If you do watch the negative divergence forming in the Bitcoin, you actually know there was something happening. If you look at XRP, it kind of shows you the daily MACD is crossing to the downside. We already had a negative divergence. It was building up on a daily, and we wanted to see a corrective action in the price. But now, if you do look at the price on a macro, you do understand the fact that there is some change. And you need to look at the total altcoin market to understand that. Yes, the price did drop. And that's a 20% drop in the altcoin market. Not 30, not 40, and you're already scared. Go back in history and you'll see 30% drop on average. So 30% drop on average should not scare you. All of this happening while the price is still going up. What are the key factors which you should be looking at in different assets? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We're going through a lot of these things, understanding what the market is doing. Say you look at the total altcoin market, you get to see something. One of the easy part here is to put that on a weekly and then go back into the price action. When your RSI enters the overbought territory, yes, you are going to see a lot of volatility for sure, because now it's sure that the price action is about to continue to the upside. But if that's just a direct ride to the upside, it would actually give a lot of people easy money. And the market does not work like that. That is primarily why you see a week like this or 2 weeks. And you get to see this. The average is 30% drop. But sometimes the long wicks go all the way down to 35-40%. So if you're highly levered, it's going to actually screw you up. So one of the primary things which you have to keep in your mind is that, are you watching a negative divergence conforming on a weekly? Say you go on the Bitcoin side of the equation, you don't even need the weekly. You can step back to the monthly. Yeah. And this is what you're watching. And I would argue this is the most important thing in the crypto market right now. One, look at the RSI. It didn't actually put in a higher high. Rather, it is close to a test of the local highs, which means a rejection, they can make it a double top. Have you seen this in the past? What was the result, right? So this is what you saw in the past, a double top formation while the price was still going up. Yeah, we're watching something similar. Now, there's a huge difference in between them. From one top to another, there was like a 7x. If you pick the top of the wick, that's still 300% to the upside. Now, here we don't have that. One of the top was 70,000 and the current top is close to 105,000. So we reached that strategic point which we were talking from last 1 year, 105,000. Now what? Right? This is the biggest question which we should be asking ourselves. So to answer that, we'll have to go into the Bitcoin dominance while all of this craziness is happening. Because in the last couple of videos, when I talked about this, we did argue there is going to be a retest of the Bitcoin dominance to come back and test whether all that selling pressure is for real. Right now, that's what you're watching. We're watching that the Bitcoin dominance is coming back up, retesting that range. Fine. Now, what's the standard deviation which you should be keeping your eyes on? Take a array here, plot it from the bottom, connect it in between all of these so that you make sure the bottom of the wick, and the top of these. So this range is what we're talking about. You can literally make it a rotated rectangle, put it into that, and understand this key range has acted as a support for an extended period of time. Now, why shouldn't it act as a resistance? Yeah. So I'm personally looking at this saying, yeah, when you trend to the upside, you do the 1, the 2, the 3, and then you do the ABC to the downside. What about when you trend to the downside, right? You actually go do the same and then continue to the downside. Great. Now, what do you watch here? You have the 1, you have the 2, you have the 3. So if you get rejected here, that does mean something. What is it? It's a continuation pattern, and you are about to watch something like this in the Bitcoin dominance. Yes, that's a 12-hour chart. There's a lot of volatility, but as you zoom out, you get to notice the fact that the volume spikes each time before the Bitcoin dominance drops. Now watch what the volume is doing. So these are easy points which we should be noting, because the history kind of gives us an easy path to understand all of this and act in the correct way. If you're panicking right now, then yeah, you miss the total picture. You miss the total market. Say you add Ether as well in the market, and now you come up here. Now look what's happening. The one candle, which is surprisingly big, shows you the fact that, okay, the candle has not closed yet. And in the previous cycle, when we were still going up, we had many of those days. Now, within the wave cycle here, that's the previous wave. Now, you go into the previous market cycle, and you notice the fact that these are common. One candle to the downside, changing everything, but then it actually gets supported at a critical range of support and then continues further to the upside. Why do you think that's happening? Because this breakout and a retest was genuine. You had the volume while you broke to the upside. Fine. Now we come up here. What are you watching? The first area for Bitcoin and Ether is different. Here, for the total altcoin market, because Ether is such a big thing, it changes the market. Yeah, it influences a lot. Now, after your first wave cycle, you did the 1, the 2, the 3. Now you actually did the 1, 2, 3. Fine, you made the first base, you made the second base. Now that all happened to be in a bull flag, which then broke to the upside. So now you're in a continuation pattern. Yeah, this was a bull flag, and then you broke to the upside. Intermediately, you had a lot of different corrections. Now, get this straight. When the market continues upside, it can still drop on the average 17%, which means some of these assets are dropping 25-30%. Don't believe me? Come here and watch. It has already dropped like this, 20%. And these are not small cap assets I'm talking about, right? But then you go back into the market and observe the return rates. The same assets which were down there are showing you they are up 4x, 3x, 100% over last 30 days. So when the price is down 20% on the weekly and up 285% on 30-day and 300% plus on a quarter, you see something. And if you don't, look at that yearly. This is the trend. You're going up. All that you're watching on the micro is the noise which you shouldn't be worried about. Now, how can you stay on the correct path? Take the monthly, put it on a Heikin. Now, if you say, okay, I don't want that long chart, meaning it still needs another 20 days for the candle close and you cannot work with it, fine. Come here, use a weekly. That's going to give you that idea. Because sometimes the weekly slows down and then slowly grinds back up. So you kind of see until it turns red, you don't have to be worried. Now, yeah, you can zoom in and use this same strategy to trade if you are trading. Now, if you want help with trading, join the copy trades, you can come into the Patreon, use the link in the description below to jump in to the right family. Now, once you're done, understand, I think 1,400 plus members right now are here for a reason. There's a lot of volatility in the market, especially think about XRP for a moment. We talked about selling XRP at the local swing highs, and we did. And when the price is going back down, there's a lot of volatility again, and some people were not happy that we sold. But right now, when you're buying back close to $2, that doesn't look bad. I mean, the price dropped 20% and then you re-entered. Now, what are you looking at? The possibility of an ABC pattern. This is exactly what we are talking about. Once you get to see this happening, and then you compile it on a 3-day or a weekly, which then suggests that you are still in the overbought territory, which means that first time when you enter into that zone like that, it is going to be volatile. Now, back then, that kind of a drop came in because of the SEC. Right now, you don't have such an issue. So I would expect it to be a normal correction and a continuation pattern. Now, the normal correction is like this. You don't have a panic event in the market. So the market continue to the upside. Now, total crypto market is right now close to $3 trillion. Altcoin market is $1.46 trillion. That's not a small amount. Remember, at the bottom, we were like 400 billion. Right now, we stand 3 times that value. Now, why is that? Because you come here and look at the dollar. Dollar has been strong. I mean, since the change in the administration, I mean, people chose Donald Trump, and that kind of pushed the dollar to the upside. So you go look at some of these other currencies against dollar, and you get the taste of it. This is Indian rupees, a bearish pattern breaking to the upside. It does not look good for the rupee. Yeah, dollar is really strong. You put it on a monthly and you see this. I mean, that does not look good. But yeah, obviously on a macro, when you do look at things, you're like, fine. If it comes up, there's a little bit more room to test the macro pattern. Can it actually get rejected here? Are we going to see something crazy like that before it actually drops? Because previously we have seen these events, right? And the tech burst kind of showed you how dollar got delayed. Yeah, it still went upside, and most likely it's going to go back up with any changes in the tax structure, the crypto, all other things happening in the US. But right now, understand, we are all trading in an asset which is trading against dollar, most likely against USDT, USDC. So this is one of that way where we can easily use this technology. Now, come back to the price action, put it on a weekly or a 3-day chart and recognize this. Bitcoin on a 3-day chart is starting to show you a negative divergence. The candle didn't close yet, so the confirmation is not there, but you're observing it developing in front of you. So while that happens, keep this in mind, it's going to be choppy. The Bitcoin dominance is something which you'll have to keep your eyes on, not on a macro, because we understand the macro scenario, but on a micro. You need to see which direction the capital is flowing. You come up here, you pick it up, you put in a 4-hour or a 12-hour chart. Now, I'm personally using a 4-hour chart to see how the range is affected, because once you do these kind of a move, is this kind of a big ABC which you're getting, then the downside kind of reduces. Whereas if you actually make a smaller momentum-based ABC, then the downside becomes bigger. So here, what we are watching is the momentum to the upside of this ABC is small. So I personally think that the momentum to the downside as it continues is going to be much bigger. I mean, that's going to be a big wave. Now, understand in this grand scheme of things, that's still wave 1. This is wave 2. You'll have this, which is wave 3. So you're talking about something happening in the near future. And when you do talk about it, don't misunderstand this. The support is going to remain active. That has been there for a long period of time, and it's not going away. while the market does a lot of crazy things, we human beings get scared, but don't. The market is showing you a lot of different signs, one of which is the volume. Look at the volume profile. It's actually going up, which is a good thing. So you come back into the payments asset, you look at this and you're like, whoa, we are above the all-time highs in this asset. Yeah. In the market cap sense, not in the price sense. The price, it should be about 3.8, but the market cap kind of shows you this. If you don't agree with me, you jump in here, take the market cap of XRP and look at this. We are now flirting at the all-time highs region. Why? Because we have more supply coming in at every month. And right now you're watching that market cap breaking to the upside kind of gives you a huge measured move in XRP. We talked about that in the previous videos. So you can go refer to that if you're looking at the target space. But why am I highlighting that? Because watch the volume here. There is a huge change. Surprisingly heavy buying volume entering XRP while it is breaking higher. So what should the whales do? I mean, usually what they do is a drop before the next big leg. Yeah, so that is what we were observing from that $2.9 mark, and right now we came close to $2. Now maybe 1.8, 1.85 is possible, but if you are completely busy, then $2 is not that bad, right? If you did take profits close to 2.6 to 2.9, that is a good re-entry. So I would say watch the market clearly. Now, if you want help on getting clear guidance of what the market is doing, how things are changing, where things are turning negative, positive, be in the Scientific Investor family, use the link in the description below. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.